Welcome back, viewers. I'm here today to review my Corgeut GMT Batman watch. I purchased this watch for $68. I got it on sale on AliExpress. I bought it back in September. I've been very pleased with it. It's been getting a lot of wrist time, and you'll see by the scratches on the bracelet that I've been making a lot of use of this watch. Let's get right into it. Without further ado, we have a 40 millimeter diameter case. If you look at it closely, if I can get a little bit of contrast there, the the bezel is slightly wider than the case. So the bezel is actually about 41 millimeters. You have sapphire crystal, ceramic bezel insert, 90-click unidirectional bezel. The action's fairly smooth. It's a little bit easier to turn than I would prefer. I feel like it might get bumped off place easily, but I'm pretty careful when I have a watch on. I'm pretty aware that it's on, and I try not to put my hand in places where my watch is going to get dinged up. There is a little bit of back play, not horrible, but it is there. And again, it's 90 click, not 120, not 60. It's 90. You can see the Cyclops is okay. It's not as impressive as the one on my Heimdallr Submariner, but you do have, again, the ceramic bezel insert, which has a nice gloss to it. The numbers and the markers are etched in. Sapphire crystal, very, 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 very deep black dial. Your chapter ring is nicely contrasted. Your indices are applied with the lume filled in. The lume is not very impressive on this watch. I'll do a lume shot here in a little bit. The odd thing is that it's two-tone. The lume on the dial is blue, and it is green on the hands. Actually, I think it's green on the 9 o'clock indicator too, but well, I can't remember because I haven't shined it up in a while. It doesn't last very long, but it looks pretty cool when it's charged up, and we'll get to that in a little bit. You have the Mercedes style hands. You have the DG3804 movement, which is 21,600 pulses per hour. So you do get your 6 ticks per second. So you get your nice smooth automatic sweep of the second hand. You have nice brushing on top of the case. You have polished sides. And you can see that I do have a little bit of wear. You have an unsigned crown, which has some wear on it, and the case sides. The case back is, copied of the big R brand. Solid end links. You have an oyster style bracelet, which works pretty well. You have the feature that I was most excited about is that it is a glide lock adjust on the fly. So all your micro adjusts are easily made on the fly by snapping that link out, going this way to tighten the watch, and pop it out if you want to make the bracelet bigger. That went a little bit too far. There's no notch there. Okay. The action is fairly smooth. It was pretty gritty when I first got it, but it's been broken in. I adjust it fairly often depending on if there's any swelling in my wrist during the day while I'm in the heat or on the go at work. So, you have this nice scissor style machined clasp on a watch that I paid $68 for. Screw links. I removed 2 links from the a nice scratch there. Oh, no, that's not a scratch. I'm sorry. That's the clasp. My bad. Lost my depth perception through the camera. But I removed two links from this when I purchased it. I did not weigh it, but I think it's about 153 grams. So pretty standard stuff. I don't think I finished with the measurements. It's 48 millimeter lug to lug, 45 millimeter if you include the crown, 13.5 millimeter thickness. So it's not a thin watch. You have the bottle cap style notches in the bezel, very easy to grip. If you add the Cyclops to the thickness, it's 15 millimeters. It's hand winding and hacking. So let me unscrew the crown. The crown threads were a little gritty when I got them, but they're a little bit smoother now. Pop that out to the first position, roll it back towards you to set the GMT hand. Roll it away from you to do the quick change date set. And pop it out to the time set position. You can see the second hand stopped. So now I can set the time. And as you can see, the hour hand moves twice as fast as the GMT hand because the GMT hand counts on the 24-hour clock. And the main hour hand counts on the 12-hour time clock. If you notice, which I thought was pretty impressive, was the date change is more similar to a Swiss style watch than to the Japanese style. Japanese style movements, the Myotas and the Seikos, once the date starts moving, once the minute hand gets past the 12 o'clock, it'll drag the time around for an hour or two before it does the quick set. But see, that moved. This one's not. I mean, it's a $68 watch, so they had it set closer to 11 o'clock than 12, which is fine. But it is the date just flips over without that long drawn out drag all the way around the dial. So I thought that was pretty cool. Again, the threads are reasonably smooth. You can see the second hand is back on its way. I don't know what else to say. I think I've covered just about everything. Parnis has a very uncomfortable looking clasp. All the videos I've seen. One thing I wanted when I ordered this watch, I was hoping to find one on a Jubilee bracelet, but they all had that odd fitting clasp that Parnis puts out. When I saw this was available with the glidelock, I jumped on it, and you can see the wear on that clasp. I have been wearing this a lot, and it keeps good time. It varies. If I lay it down, dial up, it'll actually gain about 4 seconds a day, which is awesome. If I set it down, crown up, it'll actually lose 2 seconds a day. So by wearing it and depending on how I set it down, it overall keeps, these watches are not adjusted to position like a lot of more expensive watches. So you're going to have some quirks. But overall, it's been very, very, on the average, I'm gaining about 3 seconds a day. That's if I wear it, take it off, put it on. As long as I don't let the power reserve run down. Oh, by the way, this has a 42-hour power reserve. I did a complete hand wind and set it down, and it lasted 43 hours, 43 hours. So if you keep the watch moving and you keep wearing it and don't let the power reserve run down, it'll keep pretty accurate time. So that's pretty impressive. And since the Corgeut is very difficult to find on AliExpress, I'm going to put a link in the description if you are interested in purchasing one just like this. Bleeger has one. There's a brand called Planka, Planka. NCA. I believe all these watches come out of the same factory, but I think they put their own spin on them by using different bracelets, different color finishes on the bezels and the hands. And let me kill the light and do a lume shot and show you this two-tone lume. I wish it lasted because it looks really cool when it's freshly charged. Let me get this out of the way for a second. We'll get it nice and charged up. And here we go. As you can see, it's not, it's just cool how they do the two-tone. Again, I wish it would last longer, but again, like Jody says on Just One More Watch, when you start cutting costs on watch production, usually the first thing to go is the quality of the lume, and this is no exception. I enjoy it. It looks good. It wears comfortably. Let me take off my, let me do a wristwatch check. This is my 21-year-old Invicta Pro Diver. I bought this when they still used the Miyota 8215 movement, so I've had it a long time. It's been reliable, been a good watch. Got a lot of use out of it over the years, and it's going to be retired pretty soon. I'm going to be using this watch to take apart and put together to learn how to do, service my own watches. So even though it's about worn out, it's still going to serve a purpose. So let me get that off and we'll get this Corgeut put on. And show you how it looks. There you go. Pretty watch. Feels substantial. Feels like, I mean, you can't beat the quality for the price, especially the adjustability of the bracelet, the ceramic bezel insert, sapphire. I mean, what more could you possibly ask for? Better lume? Hey, if you want, I mean, this watch is cheap enough, you can probably send it off and have someone do a really nice lume job on the dial and hands. But accuracy, reliability, comfort, looks, I don't really think you can beat this. I'm pleased, and I hope y'all enjoyed watching this, and I hope you got some good information for yourselves. And until the next watch review, I thank you again, and adios.